Yeah, it's pretty similar to last week or the week before, where we had the pre-finals bye. We'll freshen up this week and use it as an opportunity to, mentally and physically regroup, and then we'll turn our focus to whoever we're playing next week.
You've been in this position before. What did you learn from 2020?
Yeah, you learn a lot. We learned a lot off the Cats. They were definitely the standout team last year, and making the prelim. And then obviously 2020 as well, where we made the prelim and we lost that to them again. Really physical team, and I think that we were able to do that on the weekend and impose ourselves in certain moments, which we probably might not have done in years previous. So yeah, we need to make sure that we do that again come the prelim in a couple of weeks.
I remember back in the 2021 when you had the extra week off, and you had two weeks off in three, and it kind of stalled your momentum. So is that the key to sort of keep training, keep working hard, so that you don't feel like you've had too much time off?
Yeah, it's a maturity thing. You need to make sure that you keep yourself, while you do, switch off a little bit in that first week. You still need to keep a little bit of edge about you and train really well on the sad day when you do get your weekend off, because it's hard to just turn it on and flick a switch once you do get to the game, especially after a week off. And we saw that during the year with teams that had byes. Some teams found it quite hard to come out and perform well that next week. So I think we take a lot of confidence from the fact that we're able to start well on the weekend after a week off, and we'll just try and replicate what we did last week.
Do you have extra sessions then? I think Mark Stone mentioned you'll try and cover as many Ks this Saturday as you would in a game, just without the contact.
Yeah, we did that a couple of weeks ago. Make sure that you're pretty much up there where you would be running during a game, because it's not just for your skills and for your game simulation, but also for your fitness and for your body. You need to make sure that you get the Ks in so that you're at less risk of injuring yourself.
How'd you pull up? Did you cop a bit of a knock early in the game?
Yeah, I pulled up really well, copped a bit of a knock in the hip, which kept me off for a little while, but it warmed up once I got back out there and feeling good today.
What do you think of the midfield's performance, Hugh?
Yeah, I think we were solid. Everyone did what they had to do. Dunks with his pressure. He was really good in at the coalface. I think the thing that stood out for me, not just in the midfield, but the whole team in general, was the even performance of everyone. I think there wouldn't have been a player that walked off the ground having not done their job for us and played a really solid game, and that's what you have to do in finals.
When Will Ashcroft went down, were you in the coach's office saying you wanted to play more time on ball, or it seems like obviously you kind of thrive. Even when Lachie went down last season, you had a block there in the middle that you love your time in the middle.
Not necessarily. I mean, I know that I can play good footy in the middle. I know that I can play good footy on a wing at half forward even. So I back that they're going to make the right decision with team balance, and we've been working that out for a few weeks now as to what our best mix is, and that includes myself, where I play most of my time. But yeah, I've definitely enjoyed the challenge of having to move back into that inside role a little bit more. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to keep it going and focused on what's next.
Is it just coincidence then, Hugh, that your best form of the season has come more recently, or is there something to that?
I think I have definitely improved in the basics of my game in the back half of the year. Been a little bit cleaner. My ball use has been a bit better, which I spoke to you guys about, I think, earlier in the year, as to the areas that I thought were letting me down early on. With the positional change, playing a little bit more inside, you're going to be around the contest a little bit more. It means that you're going to maybe have a few more possessions, but I still felt like as a wingman and as a forward earlier in the year, I was letting myself down with a few of the parts of my game that I consider non-negotiables, and that has nothing to do with the position you're playing.
Is it handy when Lachie seems to get all the attention, tagging attention all the time, and it gives you guys a bit more of a leg rope to get to work?
In a way, you never like to see one of your best players get tagged and followed around, but when he's able to do the things that he did on Saturday night and block for teammates, work really hard and not let it affect the way that he's working and his work rate, then it definitely helps for other players to get off the chain a little bit. But it doesn't just happen. If Locke sat back and accepted defeat when he gets tagged nearly every week, it would be tough for us guys to have any impact. So it's as much his good work as it is any of the rest of us doing anything extra special when he is getting tagged.
Is it testament to his leadership that, he's won all these personal accolades, but his premiership's eluded the group so far that he's willing to do whatever it takes to win a game with?
Yeah, I think so. I think players that perform that well and put that much into their prep and their bodies and are so consistent always have the team first, and they want to do that so that the team wins. I don't think he's changed his mindset too much. His ultimate goal right now, I'm sure, is the goal of the rest of us is to win a premiership, and that shows. But I think he spoke about it in his press conference last week. He gets tagged a lot of the time. He's been tagged for years in the past, and he's been doing this sort of stuff really well for a majority of the time. Sometimes it slips up, but ever since he's been here, he's had the team goal of winning a premiership in the forefront of his mind, I'm sure of it.
What's allowed Jasper Fletcher to make such a big impact in his first final? He made it look pretty easy for a kid.
Yeah, it's pretty special watching a first year come out and do that in their first final, particularly with the pre-season he had. It was interrupted. He had a rest a few weeks back, and he burst on the scene, but he was probably down a little bit on energy, and then to come out and I think just his composure and his level head in those situations is amazing. I mean, even as a young player, when you take a mark straight in front in a big final and you have to go back and compose yourself and kick a set shot where people expect you to kick it, but there's still a lot of pressure, that sums up his mindset, I think, and it continues to amaze me how the young boys come in and are so composed. We saw it with Ashy, we see it with Fletch, even Darcy Wilmot. He got tackled early for holding the ball free, and a lot of players probably could have gone into their shells, and not Moddy. He just keeps taking the game on. It didn't seem to affect him. So, I think those young boys are going to be a big part of what we do, even in the next few weeks, hopefully. And they give us, I wouldn't say I'm an older boy, but they give us more experienced players a real lift when they're doing that sort of thing.
It's pretty hard to make a change from a team after a performance like that, but you've got a guy who's a pretty big game player coming back from injury. Are you expecting Gunston to be right for this game?
I'm not actually sure where he's at with his injury recovery. As you said, we performed really well. I think everyone out there did their job, so that's going to be a tough call for the coaching group to make, and I'm sure they'll make the decision that lends itself best to us playing well against whichever opponent we come up against.
I mean, if someone's going to come in off 5-6 weeks on the sideline, it is Jack. He's very experienced and can handle that.
Yeah, he does have the experience for sure. He's played in the grand finals, which not too many of us have that are in the side, but I think that a lot of us have finals experience as well, and we've got a prelim to get through, and that's the first thing that we think about, and we understand that we've got a lot of experience in our group when it comes to finals, and we've won a few over the past couple of years now, so whether he plays or not, I'm sure we'll be able to handle the occasion well.
There's a bit going on with the Maynard Brayshaw incident from the weekend. I know you've dealt with concussion stuff before. The bloke who knocked you out rocked up and gave you flowers. Would you appreciate that?
Oh, mate, I can't really comment on that. It didn't happen to me, so you never like to see someone get hit in the head, but I'm sure it'll be worked out and the outcome will be achieved in the coming days.
Forgive me if you can ask this, but I just want to know, regards the mentality of the whole, I know you've probably been asked about how you handle the, making sure you don't, put the 2 weeks to good use, but is there a weird thing as a player that, when you play so well on Saturday night, you probably just want to get out there and book your spot in the grand final? How do you just handle the nerves and the build up to the next couple of weeks? You must just want to play as quickly as possible. Yeah,
definitely. I think even a couple of weeks ago when we had the week off before the finals, you catch yourself sitting at home thinking about the game and just wanting to get out there, and it's no different the past couple of days for me. Your focus turns to the prelim straight away, and it is tough to wait, but I think that'll be a test of the maturity of this group, and the fact that we're hoping that we've learned a lot over the past few years, and the fact that we've also been in that position before should help us to be able to relax this week and take everything in and enjoy the experience for what it is. You never know how often you're going to get to play in final series, so to have a win and to guarantee ourselves a prelim berth is really exciting.
And just to follow up to the concussion question, you did get concussed quite severe. Well, concussion is concussion, but you suffered a pretty horrific one a couple of season. Do you think it's important that the AFL makes a stance in this situation that the head has to be taken care of?
Oh, no doubt. You have to look after the head. There's obviously a lot of research that's coming out with contact sport, and yeah, you never like to see anyone go down, and you don't want any long-term effects from playing this sport that we all love playing. But at the same time, I understand that it's a risk I take when I run out there. That things can happen and freak accidents can happen, like what happened against the Hawks to me. Thankfully, I pulled up really well, and I've had no symptoms since. So, I'm lucky, but it'll be interesting to see where it heads in the next months and years. And I hope that we can come to a resolution and we can keep playing. We can keep playing AFL because the players love it and the fans love it, and we don't want to see it affect the game too much.
Do you have plans to watch Melbourne or Carlton together as a club, or you're on your own? And do you have a preference for who you'd rather see it together?
No preference at all. We understand that there's going to be probably different challenges that arise with both teams. We've had some great battles with Melbourne, with Melbourne and Carlton. Carlton are riding a great wave of momentum, and they've hit some really good form. So, yeah, I think we will get together as a group, and we'll watch our VFL boys on Saturday take on Werribee down there, which we're really excited about. We're happy that we've got a couple of teams competing in the final series, which is good for the AFL group as well. And we'll be keeping a close eye on that Melbourne-Carlton game as well to see how they go, and ultimately see who we end up playing in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.